Hello, Deepak.
All right.
Welcome, Karanji.
Thank you and good evening, everyone.
Good evening. All right. Yes. Okay. Over to you, Rajesh sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all in another Saturday Bite of ISTD Daily initiative called MANTHAN, and thank Lin Shu for passing torch bearer to me. So let's start with a success news that is about Rishikesh trip. I'm sure you must have seen the pictures and the videos, lots of positive energy, and it was related to NLP and yoga certification. And the participant had also given a wonderful feedback. So that was a wonderful thing. And as you have seen in the video, there is another information that the next month will happen in December, as we will celebrate Diwali on 2nd day of November. In addition to that, Delhi club meet will happen on 28th of October. And this time we will have Gita Sar session. And I think you would really like to see that in this changing scenario, changing world, lots of learning. And I look forward to see you all in Delhi chapter office. Now it's time to introduce our moderator of the day, Ms. Ritima Kaushal. I'm sure you people are already aware about her, but it's my protocol to say something about her. So she is a management trainer, faculty, and consultant. And now from here onward, she will take us to the next level. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I welcome everyone, to this webinar. I'm coming here after a long time. I've been, away and a little busy elsewhere. So thank you so much, Anubha, for, inviting me. We have a very distinguished set of speakers pair. So we have Vartika, Dr. Vartika. She is a professor in Amritsar. And the second speaker is Mr. Karanjit Uppal. He's, he's a trader also. And he's worked in, many, I was going through his profile and all. So he's worked in many, corporates like Bata, IBM, KFC. And these days he's, heading the training function in Accenture. So both of them, they will be sharing with us their views on, what do they think about career reinvention. So I welcome both of you, Karan and Vartika. Thank you so much for, agreeing to be a part of this webinar. So career reinvention typically, begins with self-reflection and exploration. There's a need to assess our skills, what we value, our passions and goals, which direction we want to pursue, in our career. So today we will try to learn from our distinguished speakers, how do they view a reinvention, what challenges people may face while moving in this direction, and what advice they would like to give to our viewers. right? So since, it's like it's a very, about 25 minutes we have. So we have about 2-3 questions for, which we'll be asking the speakers. So the first question is for Vartika. So Vartika, we would like to know that, why is there a need to reinvent a career?
First of all, very good evening to all of you, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be amongst the luminaries in their own field. I think so. Careers, if we largely see, since the first question is about the why, as to why it's needed, and probably just assessing that, I think so. When we see career as just the term, we always would associate that with a job or a vocation that someone does for a long time. That long and the length is something that is changing. The perspective of length itself is changing these days, because we know that we were talking of VUCA and then COVID happened, and now we are talking about the Bani world. The world around us is brittle, anxious, incomprehensible, or something which is inconsistent and also non-linear. Now, if the world around us is this, which means that the economies are changing, the jobs are changing, the roles are changing. So if everything around us is changing, we as individuals also need to have that change quotient in mind. And when we are talking about that, I think so reinventing oneself is very, very, I can say, aligned with reinventing careers. So when you are seeing that reinventing yourself, when you are seeing yourself for reinvention, I think so you would definitely see that what is it that extra that I can bring to the table whenever I'm doing a job or a role. And when you are seeing that from that perspective, I think so reinvention is the key to go. And today we know that as an aptitude, what we really want in our people is having a learning aptitude, having a aptitude which is about learning, but also an attitude of an agility, which is completely something which is necessary. So given this keeping this in mind, I believe career invention is something which is necessary, and it's time that we start seeing this as a mainstream opportunity to really reinvent life also.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Karanveer, would you like to add something here?
Yes, just quickly, although Vartika has answered it pretty well. So thank you for the warm welcome. I just wanted to say that the state in which India is in right now, if I talk about 2023, anybody joining the workforce in 2023 is used to uncertainty, which is why the workforce would like to change their mobile phones once every 4 years, if not once every 6 months. That's the driving factor. And point number two, anybody hitting the workforce in 2023 will have at least 60 working years in their career, 60. Now, what that implies is that people will be required to make significant changes in their own professional lives, and they need to determine their whys and, more importantly, their own values. They will be required to think outside the box and, more importantly, fill in the gaps, which means they will be required to rebrand themselves. This is what career reinvention is all about. So a lot of people have come back asking me that all of a sudden, what has happened last 2, 3 years apart from COVID, and what are the different roles that have just sprung up? And these roles are primarily around, if I look at different industries like technology and data roles, like artificial intelligence specialists, machine learning specialists. In the industry of healthcare and wellness, you've got telehealth professionals and wellness coaches. You've got an upcoming industry called green and sustainable jobs. You've got new jobs like environmental scientists, renewable energy specialists. In e-commerce and digital marketing, people are more or less aware thanks to the online consumer-based shopping. Remote work and collaboration has really come up. So we've got virtual team managers and remote collaboration specialists. And the younger lot, the population is looking at these kind of things. For example, you look at creativity and content creation, like the YouTube content creators or the ones who are doing podcasting. Pretty young set of people are doing it. They are even in school, and their YouTube channels are pretty much there. In the line of education and training, we've got corporate trainers for remote work. A new field is coming up called cyber security, wherein we got ethical hackers now, which are working in different companies. In the line of social media, so we got social media managers, we got influencer marketing specialists, and we got entrepreneurial ventures coming up as a separately defined industry prevalent across across the country in India. So you've got startup founders, you've got small business owners. So career reinvention is a reality today, and fortunately, the younger lot is very much used to it. So that's where I'd like to just bring it to a logical closure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, Karan, the next thing, the question which comes to our mind is that, what is the right time to reinvent our career? Is it early on in the, when at the beginning or midlife? Which is the right time?
So, timing, what I'm learning with the Indian workforce, they do not care about the time, fortunately. I have seen people at the earlier career stages, 0 to 5 years, where they need to have more flexibility to explore different paths because they can experiment more. I have seen people in the mid careers ranging from 15 to 25 years, wherein they have got a substantial amount of experience and expertise, and they use that strong foundation for transitioning into a related field. I have also seen people in the late careers or let's say pre-retirement, the age groups of 50 plus years in their life stages. They have lots of wealth and a very strong professional network, and they are looking to make changes wherein they can contribute more. So it's happening over there. So life transitions clearly are one of the key deciding factors. So considerations are kept over there. So in all these different spheres of early, mid, or late career stages, I think a couple of dominant attributes I get to see. For example, if the feeling of being stuck or that unfulfillment that you're not satisfied with what you're doing. Uh, People would like to grow more and learn more, and it is still a very strong driving factor which organizations typically struggle with. How do you address that kind of a motivation? External trends also come in. For example, different market trends, industry changes, economic conditions, and this is all separate from COVID. So, economic conditions like the financial meltdown of 2008, the Lehman Brothers, industry changes wherein let's say the electric vehicle industry is coming up so fast that we've got big companies like Tata saying we'll have a separate line of retail setups from the traditional ICE engines. So the industry is getting changed, and there's a lot of interest in the younger lot. There are personal circumstances for individuals, for example, financial stability, family responsibilities, or health. They sometimes determine do they need to reinvent their careers. So these are the driving factors. And fortunately, in India, there is also a concept called a New Year concept. So if a New Year is coming in, it is auspicious. It's a motivating time for a career reinvention. It symbolizes a fresh start for an opportunity for personal growth. So we see a lot of individuals doing all of that. So that's the advantage of being in India. So this is the when aspect of it. Good question.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because, when I was in the university, we had a yoga teacher. He was a retired colonel. I asked him once that when did you start doing yoga? And he was 65-year-old. So after his retirement, he just wanted to do something. I mean, like it's not, the age does not matter. Anytime you can reinvent yourself, I feel, right? Yeah. Thank you. So, Vartika, would you like to add on something here?
Yeah. So I think so. Karan has really covered the breadth of things, but just to put things a little in perspective, I think so. Something that just adding on to what he also said is that today, if we see careers, I think so. Something that has to be synonymous with careers is ladder. We always see career as a ladder to go up and up and up. Now, when we are talking, so he is also, when he talked about all those roles, you also see that careers have become very lateral. And the lateral shifts is something that people are looking more these days rather than just going up and up. So, and today, if you see from the West, we also see that concept coming in India, wherein we see something which are called as encore careers. Now, these careers are the careers that people take, which is actually aligned to their goals, their values, and their higher purpose. Today, if I see my own dad, my own father, who has completed his whole life, he has dedicated to railways. He has completed that, and now he is in the second innings, as we say, and he's doing it successfully. A lot of time we say that we wonder as daughters that we have everything. Why is it that you need to work? And then I see that work is something which is a very, very, as Confucius has said, that, choose a job that you love. And you will never probably have a day that you have to think in your life that you're working. So I think so that is the real purpose. If you are able to find that purpose which is well aligned with your job, well and good. But if you're not, then I think so you should always try and see that what is it that is driving me ahead. And for that, if we see that, keep that in mind. Many times today, since I am a professor and I deal with youngsters, I see the only thing when they get into an IIM is to get a job. And we always tell them that students, you should focus on careers. But for them at this age, when they're spending a good amount of their money, when they're taking this heartbreak, well, we have many of them who have a work ex of around 4 to 6 years, and then now they have decided to again rework, rejig, and see that what is it that new that is happening in the industry. How can I build on those skills, and what should I go ahead? So we also have our executive MBA students who are also a part of our college. So we see that there is a stark difference in the aspiration. While an executive MBA student would want to see that, okay, I have achieved so much, but what is the next thing that I have to do, which is completely aligned with my aspiration? While the young generation, they are still looking for that, completely looking at that, what is the ROI? I'm spending so much. What is the best job that I can get probably? So when we are seeing this, three things that I believe is something that we have to constantly question ourselves. What is your key interests? What are where exactly is your interest that is lying? The second thing, which is very, very important, is that what are the key motivators for you? Because what motivates you it's not necessary that what would motivate me also. And the next particular thing is the skills. How is it that I'm building on those skills? There are skills that are transferable, and then there are skills which are transitional. Am I having a good balance between the both? Am I just building on skills which will help me to transition to the next level, or I'm actually building on those generalized skills which will help me to transfer myself to the next level? So I think so these are big questions that one needs to ask, irrespective of the age that you are in, irrespective of the industry that you are in, irrespective of the role that you play. Each one of us have to be mindful of these things. And then life in general is something which is unpredictable. And we see that even as women, specifically if I bring the gender angle, we know so many of us who would have to probably take a hard break in our career because of the various expectations which are defined by the gender, just respective to the gender that we represent. Now, in that case also, how are you really preparing yourself? I think so that's why this particular conversation that we are having today is definitely making a lot of sense.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Anubha, Vartika. In fact, I would like to share with all of you my own, example that, I'm talking about reinventing careers by default. Sometimes you've not thought about it, but it just happens because of your circumstances or the situation you are in. So like, when I was in the corporates for about 10 years. I was in marketing and, I had a very high pressure job. So once I had children, so, I really found it very difficult to cope up with both the things. Yeah. So I took a sabbatical for a little while, for about a few months, and then I was invited by somebody to take some sessions, some sales training, in one company. And when I actually conducted the training program, it was at that time I realized that this is what really calls me. And then like after some time I did some more and some more, so for a couple of months I was doing these, one-off trainings here and there. And then I said that, no, this is what I want to do in life, this is what gives me fulfillment. And then after that, I never went back to a full-time corporate job. And that was really a turning point in my career. And I, started my own consulting company called Enablers, like which I shared with you also. So, and it's been almost 30 years now. And I feel so happy that, good that, I was pushed to do something, start on my own. And gave me so much fulfillment, so much flexibility, work-life balance, and I really found my ikigai, in this profession. Yeah. So there are many success stories, like when people, took the difficult path, and how they were able to succeed, in that path, right? So anybody would like to share? Karan, would you like to share, or Vartika, any success stories you would like to share with us? Or any participant also, any of our guests also can share.
I think so,
You
Dipali.
can unmute yourself, maybe a few lines, or somebody else's success story you would like to share.
Good evening to everyone. It's not exactly a success. It's not exactly the success story I will say at the moment. But yes, it's been 23 years in sales and marketing. I have been working and in my own business as well with my husband. So during COVID, I realized this is something not I'm willing to be, because I've always been into public relations and being very talkative all the time. So I want some platform wherein I can, share my views the way I want. So that was the time when I discussed with my husband that I think this is not the line I want to be in. I want to do something in trainings. So overnight, you won't believe, one of my friends suggested me ISTD, and next day was the last day to submit the form for that session. All of a sudden, इतना कुछ coincidence हुआ कि वो मेरी friend का phone आया. She suggested ISTD. जब मैंने check किया, 26 February was the last day to submit the form. 25th was my anniversary. So happened everything within 24 hours. And within 1.5 years, I see myself as the certified trainer here, and it's such a lovely feeling.
So wonderful.
So I don't know where next I will go and how I will start the things. But Anubha ma'am के मैं पीछे पड़ी रहती हूँ अभी कि line पे track पे लेकर आना है आपने मुझे. So she is really helpful and cooperative. So I started my own startup. It's Manmoji Safar. I've given a name to it. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much for sharing, Deepali. Okay, so that brings us to the last question we have. I would like to ask both Vartika and Karan, anyone can go first, that how do you do it? Now the how. What is the advice you would like to give to our viewers, that, what are some of the gyan you would like to give, steps people can take?
So, Karan, probably I'll just start and then you might add your bit here. So, I believe, as the larger thing that we have discussed, and thanks Dipali, that such a strong sharing that you did. And if you were listening to what really Dipali was telling us, it almost looks very, very cathartic, right? That the entire experience sounds so nice. So that is something I believe that's one exercise that we do with some of our, exec leaders when they come for coaching in my own class. It's a simple exercise, but it's a simple exercise of liking and disliking. And I believe that is something that we can do at any point of time. So the first thing which is very important is to see that can you disaggregate your tasks? So suppose you are currently at a role how do you disaggregate your tasks? Say, suppose you are a consultant, and as a part of consulting, you are actually consulting, say, 10 different organizations. But we again do a hard press and tell them that no, disaggregate a little more, go a little more deeper to find out that, okay, for each of those clients, what is it that you are doing? So when the first step is disaggregating your tasks. Once you do that, the next dive in that we ask them to do is that what are the different activities that you do as a part of your role? And when you do a deep dive there, you see that, okay, in terms of my activities that I was doing with one particular client, I was actually doing a lot of discussion. I was doing a lot of mentoring. I was doing maybe just getting out of my work, going to the office, commuting is something that I enjoy. So, what are the various interest aspects that helps you to do that thing day in, day out? The third thing, which is very important, is that you need to be outspoken. A lot of time, it's not your ego, it's your ego which actually comes in place before you actually go out all out and seek that what's the next big thing that I have to do. So brush aside that ego, keep it aside. That does not help you, that has not helped you till now, that will not help you even further. And last, when you do this entire exercise and you do it in a page or in a form of a blocks, you see that there is so much that you have done, and you definitely see a pattern. So identify those patterns that has helped you till now, and what is your ikigai, as rightly said by Pratima ma'am. What is your ikigai? Find out that and look around things that you can do and carve a niche for yourself around that for the next big step that you are thinking of taking. As Dipali said, that it's not, I don't know whether it's successful or not. Success is not measured by big or small. I think so success us din se aa gaya, this din se you decided that I have to do something new. So I
Absolutely.
believe that
well
is very important. And once you have done this, I think so that would give you a whole lot of new perspectives in life. And probably that's your way of doing, not as an actor, but as a director, seeing your entire life panned out, or, kind of in a canvas called life. So maybe that can be one good way of looking and seeing that how can you address, when should you start reinventing? Karan, over to you.
Very well said. Yeah, Karan, 3 minutes for you.
I will take half of that time only.
Oh,
Just a couple of points. To the younger minds, so I would just say spend time to self-reflect, identify your transferable skills, explore new industries, focus on your own skill development, continue to network. And this is not Facebook and Instagram I'm talking about. Look at informational interviews, seek opportunities for mentorship, build your own strong online presence, gain practical experience, choose to be adaptable and open-minded. This is a tough one, actually. It's a difficult choice to make. Create a very clear plan for yourself. Do not expect somebody else, your supervisor, your parents, or your company to create a plan for you. It's your plan, it's your career, it's your life. Do not ignore financial planning, especially for the younger lot. Be resilient, be prepared to fail. That's a very important part of experimentation. So obviously one needs to continuously learn and choose to celebrate small wins. That is most important to keep you, going along on that path of self-discovery. So these things help. So this is what my, 2 cents would be at this
wonderful.
point.
So thank you, Dr. Vartika. Thank you, Mr. Karan, and thank you, Pratima ma'am. We can see some questions are there already. We have left with only 2 minutes. So it's my request if you can take some questions from the audience, maybe.
Request Ajay Sahuji to, just, unmute himself and speak, instead of, we reading the question.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, sir, if you can
Right.
share
Okay.
your question, please.
Recently, I just read an article where World Economic Forum, they had done a survey of around 800 corporates all over the world. And the survey, they found out that almost 14 million jobs are going to disappear by the year 2027. I just wanted the panelists to put in their thinking cap and tell us what kind of job roles might disappear and what kind of entirely new job roles may come up on the horizon so that people can prepare themselves for it.
So can I take this?
Sure.
Yeah, please, Karan.
Yeah, so I'll talk about the fastest growing and the declining roles. I'll just give a couple of the names of these roles. This being a global report. So from 23 to 27, in those 4 to 5 years, the absolute growth will be in the roles of agricultural equipment operator, heavy truck and bus drivers, vocational education teachers. On the reverse side, declining roles will be data entry clerk, administrative and executive secretaries, and accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll clerks. That will suffer the greatest reduction in employment. So how to look at this question is what are going to be the key skills in demand? And that is what all progressive companies are today working at. So these key skills, right from for a career starter, is critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, resilience. And these are going to be in extremely high demand in the future labor market because it's tough in today's day to train an artificial intelligence on it. So yes, human creativity comes at the forefront. So that's the answer.
Thank you.
Right.
I
Thanks,
think,
Karan.
okay, Vikas Singh, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think time up now.
I think time is
I'm
up,
so
yeah.
sorry. That's a very, very tough decision is to be taken. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Vartika, Mr. Karan, Riddhima ma'am, and a special thanks to Bhavnagar chapter people, Kota and Jaipur chapter for joining in Manthan. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all the participants for you spared a special time, especially on Saturday. Although we want to increase the timing, but the feedback is that this 30-minute is really very much effective. So thank you very much once again, and I hope you must have got some new ideas that you can share with your network people, because people might be looking towards you because you are from ISTD, and that's how we can bring a better and better change in the network wherever we are working as an influencer. So thank you very much. Bye. Take care. Thank you very much.
So much.
Goodbye.
Thanks a
Thank you.
lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. I joined late because time mentioned in the message was 7:30 Indian
Oh
time.
my God.
Accordingly, I put 5 o'clock.